Peace and blessings, divine spirit beings. Welcome to spiritual healing once more again. I'm your host, Yogi Drawback, and my topic for today is about how everything is connected spiritually. Why do I say spiritually? Because I realize that a lot of us, we see things as separated as they are in a physical form, and we think that because we see them in that way, that means everything is separated. But actually, we are one. Everything is connected in a spiritual form. And I would love to explain what I'm saying in a religious way. Firstly, when we think about maybe the Jewish religion, Judaism, when we think about Christianity, when we think about Islam, I'm quoting these three major religions because these are the religions that most people, especially who would say they are spiritual, most people who would say they are conscious, they would actually criticize these three major religions because they think they are all about religion, not spirituality, But actually, in these three major religions, these Abrahamic religions, there is an esoteric side of them. Like when you study the Kabbalah, when you study the Essene Nazarenes, they were beings who were all about spiritual enlightenment, who were practicing practices like meditation, yoga, those who were following intuition. It was not just about the scriptures or the scrolls that they were reading. They can have revelations within themselves and write it down and become something that they follow because they believe that someone can get information, spiritual information or a spiritual inspiration to guide people to lead the flock, So there is that. And again, on the Christian side, there is Gnostic Christianity. When you go as well and study the Gnostic Christianity, you would find that actually they were the early church before the one that we know, the Christianity that we know that was brought by the Council of Nicaea, the Nicene Council, So there is that as well in in Christianity, the Gnostic Christian ways of life, which is more broader than the one that we know as the Christian religion. So with the Islamic religion as well, like the Muslim religion, we know that the Sunni Muslims, and there's actually another sect known as the Sufi Muslims, which are known as the Islam mystics, because they explain things as well, the same as the Gnostics, the same as the Essene Nazarenes, And when you go to this mystic part, the mysticism of these religions, of these Abrahamic religions, you would see that the practices that they practice are not even different from the practices that you find in Hinduism, the practices that you find in Buddhism, about meditation, about yoga, about seeing the self as a god or the self as a spiritual being, not as this physical being, because they would tell you that the flesh is just a vehicle that is hosting the spirit, which is the true us. So when you study these esoteric parts of the Abrahamic religions, that is where you find that they are more connected to other spiritual denominations out there, like the Hindus, the Taoists, the Pythagoreans, the Druids and so on, the Mayans. So you would see that these religions, they are not religions as we think about them as religions, but actually they are spiritual ways of life. This is why when you study the teachings maybe of Yeshua, or the teachings maybe of Moses, or other teachings that you find in these religions, you would find there's similarities to the teachings that you find in the Kemetic spiritual ways of life, or in Hinduism, or in Buddhism, or Taoism, or even the Mayans, and some would even argue, even spiritual people as well would argue and say, these religions stole these practices from ancient ways of lives, and they tried to change them and turn them into a religion, which there's some truth in it, but that doesn't mean a character like Yeshua didn't exist. Just because we don't have that much proof that Yeshua did exist doesn't mean that he didn't exist, because we don't see waves, doesn't mean there are no waves, because we don't see waves, but we actually use microwaves, we don't see waves, but we get radio waves through our FM radios, through our TVs, there's infrared waves as well. So it shows that it doesn't mean when we don't know how things work, or it doesn't mean if we don't have proof of things, that means that thing doesn't exist. I know there's a lot of conscious people who are busy banning that Yeshua did exist, but if you go and study these esoteric parts of these religions, especially the Judeo-Christian religion, if you go deeper into it, then you might find that maybe Yeshua did exist, then if he didn't exist, what about the message? The message is pure. In the spiritual side of it, it actually corresponds, it actually have that uniform kind of relation. So if you study these esoteric parts of these religions, then you would see that actually there's much truth in them, there is much solidity in them, so this is where when you go into these esoteric parts of it, then you see that actually this is the true Jewish way, or this is the true Christian way, or this is the true Islamic way. I know to these people who are into these religions, they would say this is blasphemous, what I'm saying is actually something that they don't agree with. And yes, everyone can have their opinion, but when you study these teachings, you would see that it actually makes a lot of sense. Because if you say you don't want to hear anything about these spiritual teachings from this esoteric part of these religions, then there will be things that are much harder to explain when coming to maybe a young person, because some would ask, these religions teaches us that we should be good, we should praise them, the Most High, we should worship the Most High, we should try by all means to be good. But why does it happen that these people who practice these religions, it happens that they suffer more, they are the ones who would be on a lower level of life, especially financially. And some would explain and say, because money is the root of evil. No, it's not that. Because in these religions, like, they teach about faith, but they don't really emphasize it as faith is what creates your life, is the law of attraction. But because there is no law of attraction in religion, that's why we don't understand things, why bad things happen to good people and why good things happen to people that some of us consider them bad or evil or whatever. I don't want to judge anyone, but I'm just saying you would see that there are people who are not even religious, they don't even care about morality and all that, but good things keep on happening in their lives because these people have that confidence that I am doing this for myself, especially atheists. Like they because they don't believe in God, they just do things from the power of their mind, the power of will, they keep on affirming to themselves, I can do this, I can do this, I can be a good rapper, or I can be a good scientist, or I can be a good whatever. And because of that affirmation, because of that belief, because of that faith in themselves, good things keep on happening to them. But we religious people, what do? We kneel and we start complaining, God, why is this happening? I'm sick, please heal me, and you're crying. You're doing this with passion, and that's a negative energy that you are sending out because you are crying, you are complaining, you're doing all that, not knowing because of that you are putting more passion in what you're complaining about. But when you know about spirituality, that is where you would know that you need to vibrate on a positive level so that your outcomes of things, like your results in life, your destiny, your fate, can continue being a positive outcome. So with spirituality, there are a lot of things that can explain why bad things happen, or why these other things that religions can't explain. So I would say, if we focus only in physical form of life, that is where we will see things as separated. But actually, when we look at things the way we are supposed to look at things, that is where we will be able to understand that everything is connected, nothing is separate, everything is energy. This is how things are, and this is it's not just my opinion, but it's something that I have researched through these esoteric teachings, these esoteric ways of life. Then I saw that there are so many things that I can explain when I study the spiritual ways of life. But when I was a dogmatic kind of a person, when I was a religious kind of a person, that is where a lot of things used to trouble me. But now I know when bad things happen in my life, I have to check my thoughts, I have to check my ways of life, I have to check what is it that I'm affirming every time when I speak, when I think, when I feel. What is it that I'm feeling? Am I feeling joyful, or am I feeling that anxiety, or am I feeling so down? This could be the triggers of my fate in life. So yes, I didn't want to say a lot about this. I just wanted to explain a little bit that how is it that in spirituality we say everything is connected. Thank you for watching this video. Please continue to watch and subscribe. Hit the notification button, so you can get updates in what the next video is, what is it all about, and you would know firsthand if the video is uploaded before I could even share it on social media. So thank you so much. May you have a beautiful life, guidance and protection, love and light to you, always positive energy. Namaste, Rastafari, Hotep, Ashe.